What's good, Renegades in the book club? It's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction. I'm back at it with another reaction. I know I just dropped Power, and I know if you're a renegade, you're just like, we don't even care. Just keep on dropping reactions. But I wasn't expecting to drop another reaction so soon, but got a little bit of time. So let's go ahead and do this reaction to Ren Money Ties. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Notification bell is on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 10K. Appreciate y'all all for the love and support. And if you're watching this on May 2nd, Friday, May 2nd, Bandcamp, which is an amazing artist platform for independent artists. That way they're able to get a majority of their, income. They are doing a thing today called Bandcamp Friday. So that means that every album sale, all the money that's going through the platform is going 100% to the artist. So I have 10 albums, ranging from when I was a teen to in my 30s. So have a ball. All of my stuff, I think for the most part, should be name your price. So you can do any price, but go there, check it out. Albums, if you like Ren, then yeah, I think you would definitely like some of the stuff that I put out. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this Money Ties, Rain. And the power track was dope. That was such a dope
Godliness
vibe.
with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world. But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content. But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the path and pierced themselves with the many pangs of greed.
Money makes the world go round. Money makes a pure man lawless proud. Money makes a man's verb consummate the noun. Cause an action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False prophet preach profit and we follow. When the scholar teach dishonor, that's a bit the pill to swallow. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores, what a shock. When we lose sight of live and let live, forget your soul is made much richer by the love that you give. If you're living just to make a living, that's all that is. And when you're lying, slowly dying, will you die with a grin? Now digging up the root of evil, money too like a blade. You can slice across the jugular or carve and create. But when the money ain't the means, but the means is the money, you start to compromise ideals for dollars, morals get bloody. Now let me tell you a little story.
Ooh. Before you tell me a little story, Ren, because you gotta be able to dive into it. It's so funny because you can see the people in the background like, what is he doing? He's being the dopest MC. That's what Ren is doing. But it's interesting because we have these talks, we have these things that we've known, as far as what we hear about money and different things like that. And the thing is, it's not to say that money per se has always been the thing. It's more so resources, whether it had been back in the day, whether it was, trading livestock or your daughter or something like that. Like it was the exchange and the pursuit of resources. And, we've gotten to this point where there's a level of not having balance, and it's really, really dope for him to be able to touch on these particular topics, and sometimes artists get a bad rap. Like I was seeing this, I did a reaction to this video and it was like, for radical rap, come back and different things like that. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. But this one creator, FD Signifier, he brought up, Dead Prez and different things like that. And it's dope because I did that, reaction where they did the rendition of hip hop and different things like that. And I've gotten open for Dead Prez, so that's super, super dope. But he had put like Immortal Technique, Dead Prez as far as these radical artists, And when it came to Kendrick Lamar, I'm just all like, why is there the confusion? You know, is it because he's successful, therefore he's not considered radical? And to me, that's always been confusing because artists, you know, whether it be Ren, whether it be myself or anybody like that, you know, we make art and different things like that, but we do want this thing to be the thing that, you know, takes care of us, our family, different things like that. And so that ties in with money, you know, and to me, it's trying to find this balance because though everything Ren says, you know, that money is it does and it corrupts and different things like that. It does give you access, you know, and whether that be to food, shelter, different things like that. Unfortunately, we're not in a time where you could really barter for those super important things like that unless you have something equal of value, which unless you have a particular skill set that should make you money, you know, like it ends up being this thing and it's cool. I love the fact that he's doing this in the black and white and the fact that out of all the music videos that I've seen, I don't think that this is actually a one shot unless it was, you know, like it seems like an actual music video. Even everything for the beat, like it sounds like some dope underground, like, you know, track. And so I'm looking at everything, and it's funny because the black and white, some people can make it seem bleak. And so it can almost seem like when he's talking about these particular things that it seems bleak. But the one thing that I've noticed with Ren is that he is able to put that positivity into it, you know, to make it seem, to show that I may be talking about these particular things, but it's more so to, hey, to wake you up, but there is good, you know, there is good, you know what I mean? So that this is dope. I'm loving the vibe of this
We
video.
got a boy named Ren, born March 1990 in the Celtic Welsh ends. We didn't have much, but mum and dad, they made enough to put hot meals on the table, fill our bellies full of love. A little sister fell into the picture. Oh my God, we loved her, made our family richer. Then we both got older, world a little colder. Life, it had a way of chipping away at that shoulder. I held her and I told her, hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched, leaving you stripped. You'll learn that love is not enough, it's not a world for a kid. So toughen up and buckle up because it's bumpy as shit. And there'll be those who take advantage of the light in your soul. And there'll be times you feel the cup you're filling leaking with holes. And that dark can get much darker, we all must grow old. But listen up, my little sister, hold these words to your close. Keep that kind heart kind.
Yo, there's these scenes that he's chosen are just so dope. Even stuff like this, like it's funny like it's really dope the way his mind works with a lot of this stuff, you know, because it's just all like just walking around and it's him and the cameraman, like, yo, it'd be dope if you did like you were in front of like a little mirror or something like that. That angle would be super dope because I would love to see like the outtakes, what did it, you know, appear on here versus, you know, what it did, because even then, even him in the center and that like staircase, that looked super, super fire. And then just talking about, you know, his lyrics, like him talking about his sister, like it's interesting because there's so many similarities I see with Ren, you know what I mean? Like I have younger sisters and you know, seeing it's very fascinating to have a younger sister who is only a couple of years younger than me, and then younger sisters that are like way, way younger. Like they're all both, as far as the two youngest one, they're both teenagers, but one just turned 19, the other one, I want to say just turned 14. Um, and seeing them like of course like my younger sister, you know, I was there when she was bored, but I was like 2.5, 3 years old, you know what I mean? But I can remember it's a different thing seeing those younger children grow up in this particular world, now being teenagers, seeing how everything is affecting them, seeing how things were different with us, but there was still a certain effect that happened. And him just talking about how you learn that love, you know, just isn't enough. There's hierarchies that exist and different things like that. And and as you grow older, yes, there's aspects that I feel like maybe I've gotten a colder view, in regards to things, but I don't think that I've ultimately let go of just that hope and wonder and curiosity and play and creativity. I think that those are so important to hold on to, though there might be the existential, crisis of just life, whether it be bills, whether it be, health, whether it be, your family, whatever it may be. I think that it is always important to, have a little color. Like I said, this is all black and white, but I think it could be very easy to look at the world like that, and I think it's important to where there is color, definitely enjoy that. You know what I mean?
Shit. And there'll be those who take advantage of the light in your soul, and there'll be times you feel the cup you're filling leaking with holes, and that dark can get much darker. We all must grow old, but listen up, my little sister, hold these words to your close. Keep that kind heart kind, humankind are in need. Never ever let this world make you bitter like me, because this world needs love, and love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light, and you're the brightest I see. I see your wings have feather more than ever. Mine were torn by my oppressor. Sickness scorn me, but whatever. By your side we fly together. Give me flight when I could never. A releasing of the pressure, and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you forever. Fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous. Fuck every man who made you feel less than a treasure, and fuck a world that makes us feel small. Fuck the forces that divide us. Now's the time to stand tall, because money makes money makes money makes the world go round. Money makes the sick boy sicker somehow. Money gets a man mug punched in his mouth. Money run the gang, thug, drug money, plow. Money makes open case close. Money bend love, make war, make ghosts. Money gives a poor man hope. Money saves lives, takes lives, money both. Money is, money isn't, money's just that. Money's just a concept, people are trying. Tax up the poor man, feed up the fire. Money's just cash. Take money, take money, take money, take. Fake money, fake money, fake money, fake. Money ties, money ties, money ties, ayy. Money lies, money lies, money lies, ayy.
Yo, no people, no profit. Yeah, this was the scene I was talking about, the stairs. That looks so fly. Man, this was dope. This was dope. And what's crazy is I want to say this is the first time that, before we get into that, this video is sponsored by me. Hey, if you want to dive into new music, I have a catalog. Yeah. These are not singles. These are albums. But more recently this year, I did release an album called Tame Chaos. So you can listen, stream, download, purchase, all of that in the link in the description. And just, check it out, because I want to see if people are actually seeing this and going to the site. So anyways, I even heard of him having siblings. Like, it's so cool just diving down this red rabbit hole, because it's just, I learned so much. And it's interesting because him putting that and just realizing, like, though he said don't let it make it bitter like me, I would say that we may feel bitter, but I think through art, it's not that bitterness. You know what I mean? And that's what I could really, really appreciate. Like I said, I knew that there was going to be a way to bring it together where there's some hope and positivity, and that's what it was. And it's cool because it ties. And I'm trying not to continue using the word that's in the title, but it just it does it brings everything together in a way to where, yeah, the money can do these things, as far as like corrupt and, get people clapped and, all these other things. But it's like he was saying, it's more so the thing, it's more so like our perception, what we do to it. It's not the actual thing itself. It's just literally our thoughts in regards to it and our perception of it. And so it's dope. It's really, really dope. It's interesting. And this beat, like this, and him doing different harmonies, like I said, it's like every single track I hear from Ren, it is different, and that's a good thing. It's dope. This one was really, really cool. I like this one. I like this one is dope in a different way for Power. You know, people was letting me know like when he released that, he had just got, he got rid of his management, different things like that. And so adding that extra layer, you could tell there was a an Excel, and there was, there was that going on. With this one, it's just cool going back to like the money games and different things like that. And it's just all like this one gave that really, really boom bap feel. And that's like I have a super soft spot for that. So that was really, really cool. And I always admire people that go in with the black and white because I haven't done any music videos that are black and white because I feel like there's a certain art that you just can't just throw it black and white. That's why I appreciate the way that he did it because it's more than just making it black and white. To me, it kind of goes with the perception that some people can see when it comes to the literally the perception being black and white, but just the mentality when it comes to certain things. So that was really, really cool. But this was dope. This was dope, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. And again, it's Friday, May 2nd. Check out my Bandcamp. Grab a couple of albums. Again, artists get 100% of the proceeds today. That's why I'm going like super hard on it specifically today. Tried everything that I can to get the spread the word, so to speak. But anyways, y'all, it's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction. Back at it with another reaction. Make sure to like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 10K. Make sure to check out the description for my music, books, comics, and more. All right, y'all. Peace.